While I'm keeping an eye on every player, Wiser controls every room.
Rob, you've had a few days to reflect on the Wasps' performance now, but so many positives, albeit in defeat.
Yeah, it was one of those games, wasn't it? You know, if we'd have seen it off at the end, you'd probably sit there and go, that's probably one of the best performances to be involved in from a coaching perspective. I know the other coaches kind of feel like that, and that's why you've got to be careful keeping it in perspective, because if it would have felt like that, if Wasps would have knocked on in that last period, we wouldn't have had to do much else. You know, they could have made a mistake and we'd feel great about it. And so I think we've still got to feel good about the good things in that game. There's obviously learns for the mistakes we made, and we did make some mistakes, and they were particularly bunched together in that last kind of 7 or 8 minutes. And as I just said, you know, probably any one of them doesn't happen, and we probably win the game. You know, even when we're on our line, if we don't give up quite a quick penalty that gives them the last more chance, if we'd have just not given up that penalty and defended for another 30 seconds, probably the game's over by the time they've scored the try and taken the conversion. So that kind of stuff, you know, that's how close it got towards the end. And I think that's why you've got to keep it in perspective. You've got to congratulate the players where things went well. Got to congratulate them for the intensity we played at, the emotion we laid out on the field, how hard we worked, the kind of way we put defensive sets together, some of the stuff we showed in attack. I mean, some of the momentum we got in attack and some of the space we found in attack was absolutely first class, and some of the best stuff we've had this season. And so we're going to be genuinely talking about that. But the key now is that this group have got to go out and do it all again. You know, if you take your foot off the gas, it doesn't matter who you play in the Premiership, you'll just lose. You know, you won't even give yourself a chance of winning. So the important thing for us is to just refresh ourselves this week and get ready to go out there and lay it all on the line again. And I've said to the guys, you know, it might have felt heartbreaking after the game to lose the game in the way we did, but you know, you should only be heartbroken if we worked hard and laid it all out on the field. We did that. That's how you get better. You know, you get better by being prepared to take the pain of a bit of heartbreak, and that'll make us a better team.
Well, we talked about this group, and particularly the youngsters, gleaning as much as possible while people are away, people are injured, and it's an experience for them. Last week will be an experience, but as you say, they've now got to crank it on another notch again, haven't they?
Yeah, well, you've got to at least perform to that level. You know, what we don't want to do is back off from it, and we've just got to get ourselves kind of enthusiastic for the fight. You know, I keep saying to the lads, and this would be one hell of a season to get to a final or win a trophy in, because it does feel like things are kind of stacking up a little bit, and we're under a bit of pressure, and that top four is a little. It's not far away, but it's a little way away. You know, top two even further, and we've been in and around the top two for a few years. So, you know, let's roll up our sleeves and get ready for the fight and be that team that's going to, you know, we're going to be determined to go on a run. We're going to be determined to fight our way into the top four, and let's find that thing we want to fight for this season. Let's see that bring the best out of us. You know, we're still in the next round of the Heineken Cup. You know, it's home and away over 2 legs. We're a decent European team. You know, there's a lot in this season for us. You know, we've got 7 guys away currently playing international rugby. We've got other guys who've picked up an injury being an international. You know, that's a third of a squad just out playing international rugby at the moment and not even here. We've got a couple of big players coming back from injury in the next month. You know, there's a lot of things in the future for us feel very good, but you know, it'll be these 3 or 4 weeks of real dogged determination and fight that will give us the opportunity for that to count for us.
You talked earlier in the season that the away win up at Gloucester was one of your prized performances. You've got to replicate that again, because Gloucester are a form side at the moment.
Definitely, they're I think they're third in the Premiership. You know, and they deserve to be there on how they're playing. They look very comfortable what they're doing. They're very aligned as a team. You know, fair play to George Kivington. He's got them, you know, bang on. You know, every player knows what they're doing and they want to do it. They want to do it, and that's the important thing. And you know, that makes them strong. It makes them formidable, and we've got to decide to play in a way that makes them uncomfortable, and that's going to take a bit of doing. But you know, I'm more than confident we've got that in us.
You've talked about as well producing performances that get the crowd invigorated, excited, and you said you heard comments this week from how they were invigorated after last weekend's performance.
Oh yeah, I mean, I've been spoken to by a few people. A few people have grabbed my wife during the week, and some other people have talked to the other coaches, and nearly all of them were how enthusiastic they were about the team and the game and the way we played, how great they felt some of the young players had played, how well they thought some senior players had played who were back in the side, how the style of rugby was great and what a thrilling game it was. you know, it had everything apart from the result type of thing, and that's what we want it to be like. We want it to be something that the supporters can really get involved in and get behind. But at the same time, we've also got to appreciate that, you know, people want to be involved with a successful team and watching the team win as well. And we've traditionally done that very well at home, and that's something we've got to fight to make sure we can re-establish.
You've refreshed and revived the boys quite literally on Monday with a trip down to Exmouth with Red Bull and that. Just explain a little bit how the importance of that and just having something a bit different perhaps from the norm of a training week.
Yeah, we've had a few back-to-back pretty standard training weeks. We felt we've needed to just to get everything established, but it felt like the right time to do something different. I mean, to be fair to our partnership with Red Bull works fantastically well around these type of things. So, you know, we had a kind of an expert in there on relaxation and breathing techniques and the way those things work to just recharge your batteries and control emotional and stressful situations. And then the lads had quite an emotional and stressful situation because they went in the sea in a pair of Speedos for 10 minutes and it was pretty cold. So, yeah, but it kind of worked as a bit of a refresher and a reviver and something different from training. And as I said, the important thing for us to do is get our emotional batteries recharged as much as anything else, because we've got to be prepared to go out and break our hearts all over again. You know, if we lay that level of performance on the field, we'll always give ourselves a chance, and that's what we've got to just keep doing.